where we are focusing on food system. I'm sure we have room for some PhD or some big projects, as I said, for the earlier case. So, thank you. Congratulations.
Okay, congratulations on my part. I think that the linearity and the flow of the discussion was very good. I would have liked, because I'm not an expert in this field, some more explanation on the technicality of the methodology. So sometimes I missed a little bit exactly how the experiment will be carried out, but in general it was good. I have a remark on the results slide. Actually, the one you show are not results technically, but they are impact. And it would be important that you define what you expect as results of your research, and then how this research will be used and disseminated, etc. And this makes the impact. So it's quite important to separate the two, because otherwise it is not clear how from the research question to the results to the impact you will envisage this process.
Yeah,
just a comment.
Okay, also from a very good presentation. What I suggest to you is to be a little bit more confident and speak slowly to allow Commission to understand all the passages, all the aspects of the presentation. And it looks that you will do a lot of things, probably not by yourself, but with the collaboration with other institutes. And so, good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now it's the turn of Yasmina Arfa. Is she here or no? Connection? What's that? No, take one.
Sono tutti esterni adesso? Sono esterni?
Sì, altri tre esterni. Questi e altri due.
Jasmine chi è?
Yasmina e altri due sono esterni.
Da che paese è Jasmine?
Algeria.
Jasmine, non so che dall'Algeria.
In Algeria è un secondo caso africano, sempre italiano.
Coronavirus.
Io ho morto a Parigi.
Tu sei stato a Parigi? Adesso guarda.
Non l'ha previsto.
Yasmin.
Ti sei fatto un tampone?
Il suo volume è basso.
Yasmin.
Pronto?
Ti sei fatto il tampone?
Momento
Pronto?
Please increase the volume of your computer or your microphone.
Pronto?
No, we barely hear you.
Se ne vanno dopo aver fatto la presentazione.
Sì, questa è una cosa che non capisco, non c'è spirito di qua.
Yes, Dr. Ahmed? Okay. Now it's okay. Share the presentation, please.
Ti ha risposto?
Va bene prima? Sì, confermiamo, ci cerchiamo di mattina. Qualsiasi ora, dalle 8:30 in poi. Vado a trovare lei magari.
Yasmin?
Se tu sei in centro,
Share the presentation, please.
Yeah.
No, se tu sei in centro, io non sono in centro. Ma poi il nuovo computer è più facile. Ti raggiungo. Va bene?
Secondo me finiremo prima di pranzo.
A posto. Grazie. Grazie.
Finiremo tutti prima di pranzo?
Speriamo.
No?
Non so se ce la facciamo.
So Yasmin, please put the box outside the slides and keep the microphone close to your mouth. Okay?
Sì, ma se non si
Yes,
sente.
me. Okay, keep the microphone close to your mouth because it appears that we lose sometimes the voice, your voice.
Okay.
Okay. Please. Go ahead.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Yasmina Alfa from Algeria. I'll be presenting to you my thesis work entitled Use of New Film Packaging to Extend the Shelf Life of Algerian Date Fruit, the Giltmore cultivar. Date fruit, produced mainly in hot desert regions of North Africa and Southwest Asia, and worldwide marketed as a high nutritional value fruit, providing good source of low-cost food. Consumed fresh, dried, and paste or processed to a wide range of products. Some date varieties present high economic interest at the fresh form. The example of the Giltmore, the case of our study. Let's have a look now on the worldwide leading producers of dates. In 2017, Algeria is the third largest producer of dates in the world with 1,085,56 tons. And as we can see in this graph, Algerian date fruit production is remarkably increasing over the years. From 6 million quintal in 2009 reached 10 million quintal in 2015. This is due to the Algerian strategies aiming at promoting the agricultural sector and the exportation. With 170,000 hectares and more than 900 varieties, Algeria is still the third largest producer of dates in the world in 2019, with 12 million quintals. What about the Giltmore now? Because of its high quality, it is called royal date and the queen of all dates. Algerian Giltmore is known by its noticeable sweet honey-like taste and translucent color, the golden color. Highly appreciable at national and international level, it dominates 73% of the palm date orchard in Algeria. Marketed as soft and semi-soft dates, it has very high market value. 96% of the Algerian exported dates are from this variety. As we can see in this graphic, the Algerian export of the Giltmore is fluctuating over the years, but it is clearly increasing. Passing now to the Giltmore and the local market. It has increased in demand over the year, especially in Ramadan, presented in bulk or carton boxes packaging to the local consumer, which is not appropriate to preserve its quality for a long time. So it has short shelf life and seasonal trading during the harvest season. Other types of packaging, including plastic film, are used after storage for the shipment. More appropriate types of packaging and storage conditions are required. Many kinds of quality laws, we can remarkably see them on the date fruits and also, of course, on the Giltmore variety. As we can see here, the souring. Dates become fermented due to yeast activity and bacterial production of acetic acid, and due to the moisture content, they are exposed to fungal development. All these make dates inappropriate to consumption. The puffiness, as we can see here, This phenomena is accentuated during the ripening of soft date, pulverized by high temperatures, making the flesh dry, brittle, and easily separable. Speaking about the insect damage, it can be serious, causing quantity and quality loss, and at many stages before or after harvesting or during the storage. Here we can see the sugar spots, or the sugaring, as it can be called also. It is characterized by light-colored spots under the skin, and these can be minimized with low temperatures. Post-harvest technologies. Many post-harvest technologies are used to preserve the quality of the fruits. We can proceed to the drying or dehydration, and this technique is used for soft date varieties. By reducing the moisture up to 23%, it can reduce the incidence of molds and yeast. Hydration. By dipping dates in hot or cold water for dry dates to maintain some quality requirements and soften the flesh of hard-type dates. Then the packaging in different materials, shape, and size. It prevents physical damage, insect feeding, and moisture loss under controlled. It can be under controlled atmosphere, under vacuum, or with CO2, which can prevent fouling and insect infestation. But, for example, under vacuum, it is not appropriate for soft date varieties because we will lose the shape. The cooling. At low temperatures, less than 0 degree, prevent insect feeding damage and can extend shelf life, and this depends on varieties. We have also other techniques: ozonation, irradiation, microwaves, fumigation with phosphine, but these are not at all accepted for organic production. What is our objective from this study? As I explained it before, in the local market, our Liquidnor are weakly preserved, and its quality is exposed to several kinds of loss. So we aim at evaluating the effectiveness of microperforated polypropylene film packaging, able to be applied directly in storage factory or packing house before cold storage, on the quality maintaining and storage life extension of fresh Liquidnor fruits. For our study, we did a choice of date provenience. We have in Algeria, we have these 3 regions which are most productive and are 61% of the total area occupied by the palm orchard in Algeria. 95% from the total production of Liquidnor in Algeria is coming also from these 3 localities. They are free of fusarium infestation, and they are known by high dates. As represented in this graphic, these 3 provinces, Biskra, Ouitta, and El Oued, are the most regions when we can see the largest commercialization of dates quantity from Liquidnor variety, especially. Passing now to our experiment. We will be selecting fresh, mature date fruit, Liquidnor cultivar at summer stage, harvested from the 3 localities, which are 3 different commercial farms based in southeast of Algeria. Then we'll proceed to cluster preparation by selection of homogeneous date fruits, ripe and size uniform, free of physical damage, insect injury, and fungal diseases. The selected fruits from each provenance were divided into 3 uniform groups corresponding to packed with non-perforated polypropylene film and packed with commercial film, polyolefin. For the sampling times, clusters about 200 grams for each date provenience and packaging category with 4 replicates are stored at 4 degrees and 65% of relative humidity in Taiba packing house in Ouargla, Algeria. Our sampling will be each month, and we will have the first one as T0 after harvest before applying the different packaging. We will reach T6 after 6 months, then the last one will be the simulation at the shelf life simulation at 25 degrees. These are pictures of 3 samples of the 3 treatment we have: unpacked, packed with commercial polyolefin film, and packed with microperforated polypropylene film. Now for material and methods, we will have physical attribute assessment, starting with moisture content using DFA dried fruit moisture tester of California. Then we will be assessing the decay incidence and mass loss. The mass loss here will be determined in percentage. The decay incidence will be measured in naturally infected date fruit as the mass of the decayed fruits after removal from the entire cluster. The color attribute will be measured with digital colorimeter, and it will be expressed by the total color difference, chroma, hue angle, and Browning index. How we do prepare our sampling? For the chemical analysis, we will be according to UpNort 970. We will measure the all the chemical characteristics in juice fruit at 25 degrees. Here is the preparation date juice with 20 grams of date sample, adding 60 milliliter distilled water. Then we put them in water bath 60 degrees for 13 minutes. Then we will get the juice by filtration on a gas tissue. For the chemical analysis, we'll be doing total soluble solids measured as Briggs percentage, pH measured using digital pH meter, detectable acidity, and sugar analysis, total phenolic content, and antioxidant activity using DPPH free radical scattering method. Passing now to the microbiological analysis. Seeded plants using PDA selective for bacteria and dichloram rose bengal chloramphenical medium for fungi will be incubated at 24 degrees. Microbial growth will be determined respectively after 2 and 4 days of incubation. We'll have also sensory evaluation. A panel consisted of 7 assessors, 3 males and 4 females aged between 25 and 23 years from the university will be assessing the quality of it. Following these criteria: color, texture, flavor, and they will give an overall assessment for the quality. The expected results. In our case, it's to extend the shelf life of date fruit, Diglipor cultivar, by maintaining its appearance and sensorial marketable qualities during cold storage at 4 degrees and shelf life simulation at 25 degrees. Reaching our expected result at the end of this experiment will be essential to generalize the packing of date fruit before cold storage and commercialization. Moreover, introduce the new film packaging will be helpful for the soft date markets in Algeria to meet the consumer expectations and reach new promising markets. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Yasmina. I have a couple of questions. The presentation was interesting. It's an interesting topic. I have 2 main aspects I want to mention. The first one is the part related to the methodology, the work to be that you will be doing in the lab concerning the application of the novel film compared to the rest of the activity. I think this portion of the description has to be better explained because also the timing, after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and so on, all these aspects should be better described with a table, a figure, in order to be more understandable. There is something I really cannot catch. My impression is something missing in the experimental approach here. This is one comment. The second comment is more general and concerns the novel polypropylene film. What is the real advantage of this material with respect to the classical film for the packaging in terms of also environmental impact, according to you?
Yes, classical films are not really used at local market in Algeria. They are date fruit are
For export.
exported in bulk, and it is almost only for the shipment
For the export,
exportation.
yeah.
And our new packaging film is kind of experimental one, but it was tested before on grapes.
Yeah.
And use it because we are speaking about semi-soft variety dates,
Yeah.
and it is really vulnerable and perishable, and it has a high demand from the consumer. And our objective is to extend its shelf life. So this packaging film, is now the polypropylene is known as eco-friendly packaging, and it has some characteristics that makes it better than the commercial film. For example, being microperforated will keep more the freshness of the Glitnor, which is our objective.
But your expectation is that you will increase the shelf life at a given level of quality of the product?
Yes, we are by adding this film, we are expecting that the shelf life will be longer because we aim at preserve it more by adding special film comparing with the commercial one, because with the commercial one it is not conserved for more than 3 months with full quality.
But the commercial type of film usually is under vacuum, is that right?
Sorry?
The commercial film, it's used under vacuum, the one for exportation?
No, it's not under vacuum.
It's not under vacuum.
For the Glitnor, it's not under vacuum because we will lose the shape of
the physical
Glitnor.
characteristics. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Yasmina.
Hello.
Pleased to hear you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very important and interesting work. Well, I will start from the title.
Okay.
Don't you think we should say new packaging film rather than film packaging?
It is new for sure in Algeria.
No,
And,
I'm speaking about the English.
Yes.
Should
Sorry?
we say packaging film rather than film packaging? Is it the same thing or it differs?
Film packaging and packaging film. In this case, I see film packaging more appropriate.
Okay. Well,
It is film used for
will check.
packaging.
We will check whether it's correct because
Sure.
it's not only a question of English; it's question of
Yeah.
meaning. New film packaging, which means that all the package is a film, or the packaging film. It means the film used in packaging.
To be more precise, yes.
So I don't know which one. Okay, all is failed. Okay, so it's okay. The other issue is I missed the one you passed from the literature review to the material and method. I haven't seen, or probably I missed, the, let's say, the smooth passage to your thesis objective and hypothesis. It appeared to me that the last slide before the first one, the last slide of literature review was followed directly by material and method.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. From the literature review, I talked the last thing about in general post-harvest techniques to preserve the quality of
So
dates.
it's introduction.
Then, yes, this is in the introduction, as introduction general to the subject.
Yes.
Then this is my objective.
Yes. And
Then I pass it directly to material and method, starting by choice of date provenience.
okay, maybe I was misleading in this in this time because
Sorry?
or the sequence was not well, I don't know. Maybe it was my issue.
Sorry, Dr. Lina, I didn't get your point.
No problem. I will check it with Nawal later. If
Thank you.
it was
Thank you.
my general comment. Try to be more self-confident. Don't be shy. Try to be more smart in the presentation, and also quicker. Maybe it's due to this remote connection, but I'm sure you can perform better for next time.
As I was following the time here, it was about 14 minutes.
No, it's not a question of time. It's
But
the
the
rhythm.
transition will take time.
It's not the time. It's the rhythm of presentation. It was too slow.
Okay.
It's too annoying. Okay, so try to
Okay.
be a little bit, let's say, animated.
Okay.
Okay?
I get it.
I'm sure this is
Yeah.
the problem related to this remote presentation. Okay?
Okay, thank
Good
you.
luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lina.
Okay, Jasmina, thank you for your presentation, very interesting. I just have a remark about the size of the font, because it's very small, so not always is easy to read it. And especially materials and methods, I would, as a non-expert, I would appreciate a little bit more, let's say, explanation for it, because it is not very easy to follow. Especially there is a very big table with a lot of text, and in that case it's not easy to follow. But for the rest, I think it's okay, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Jasmina, just a few suggestions. I think it's necessary to improve in the introduction the state of the art concerning the use of packaging, micro-perforated packaging. If there is really, what is the advantages? What are the advantages in using non-perforated and perforated film? I think the subject is very interesting because it can include the exportation of the dates, and yeah, I agree that you need to increase the size because sometimes with tables or written part was difficult to read, and also for you, don't read next time. Don't read the slides because we can read also by ourselves, and. I didn't see the timetable, final timetable. Oh, I missed, I don't remember. And one question is, I think,
Sorry, this one, if you can see it, this one.
yeah,
Timetable.
timetable, final timetable,
Okay.
writing of the thesis, experiments, and so on.
Okay.
But it was the first time, the only possibility to show this. And then also one question, a curiosity concerning the shelf life, the life after harvest of the dates. I think they are fruits that do not respirate too much. They don't produce too much CO2. So I think that's why the life after harvest can be also 6 months, I think. But what can be the advantage in using microperforated film instead of a non-perforated film? What do you think about?
Sorry, I agree with you about dates, shelf life as 6 months, but we are more interested in keeping almost the same quality as just after harvest. This is so important for consumers' appreciation because first thing we will see after 3 or 4 months, dates will be darker. We will have some browning effect.
So
That's why we are
oxidation, maybe oxidation, yeah.
introducing this new film packaging to see it's a kind of comparison between the commercial one, the existing
Okay,
one,
good.
because we already know that the existing one is not really keeping these qualities. So having microperforated one for longer time may preserve these qualities.
Good. Okay,
During this,
I understand. I understand
for
very well.
6 months.
Listen, Jasmina, and concerning the atmosphere composition, will you measure, for example, in this kind of packaging, oxygen, CO2, that can be one way to explain the good results?
No, actually, we are not measuring that, and this is an availability issue because I'm having many problems with doing the analysis here at the university.
Okay.
These analyses are not really available.
But since you are working with a confined environment, it could be interesting. Maybe the agronomic institute can give you some instruments that are not so expensive for measuring.
She should keep in mind the chances that she has. She did a lot of work in trying to find out all the substances.
Okay, so you will do what is possible to do in Algeria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Va bene.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
Non abbiamo manco visto il viso.
Io ho bisogno di un
Per la
minuto.
traduzione, perché l'Algeria non
Ho bisogno di un minuto.
Però il collegamento è andato bene. Il collegamento è andato ottimo.
Ragazzi, sono un minuto, preparate, io un minuto e ti scendo.
Come la faccio lavorare in Algeria e non c'è uno strumento?
Ma sta lavorando
Nessuno, ci sono degli strumenti impostati.
ma se ha la difficoltà a trovare persone più bravi.
Già per misurare il CO2 oggi ci vuole
Non è
il
vediamo.
Il CP quanto costa? No, di più professore, di più.
Se offri tu?
No, qui all'istituto 500 per tutto, per comprare tutto. Già i dati per comprare la
L'università zero.
Non è che adesso stanno due laboratori diversi.
per fare poco che può fare. Non le faccio le ragazze.
Però è uno strumento da fare poi con le maniere, se voi lo comprate, lo prestate, poi
Per fare questo ci vuole fare un perché già abbiamo l'analisi degli in quel che hanno passato sempre il CO2 e il veloce perché uno tra l'altro non sta facendo il complesso da tavola. sempre parliamo dei vertici e dei consorti, la fase
Io una volta avevo mangiato i latte di loro e era una cosa buonissima, meglio dei...
ma come sai la differenza? Perché hanno più acqua, questo è il problema. È vero che sono montani,
Però poi mi ha detto dei problemi di cazzo in
Tu sei tipo
perché io lì per un mese.
ecco, dobbiamo mettere, non possiamo fare
Volevo chiedervi come alla fine batteri, io avevo dei problemi ed erano loro che mi mangiai e tutto proprio, poi cessai, ripresa a mangiare batteri. E lascio il quadro più breve. No, per noi
poi secondo me sai, ci conosciamo, però adesso tante volte
diciamo che è andata quasi a lavoro
ma anche la
tua sorella era il
non ci vuole pensare che questi sono giocati sono completamente diversi stiamo parlando del 25% al 20%. No, già in Algeria, quelle tre regioni, c'è una differenza che sono... C'è una bella differenza. Quella di
perché evidentemente la
noi in Algeria
ma senza la telecamera
sì, perché la anche loro ce l'hanno bellissima che hanno preso
per ora
sarà un po' per formare qualcosa
fino a quando non
Vogliamo, certo. No, io sto facendo ormai, però gli altri stiamo facendo. Sì, come stavo facendo purtroppo. Insomma, wifi la devo buttare, la posso buttare? Wifi, non puoi buttare. Non si collega. So, have a seat, please. Posso iniziare? Posso iniziare? Posso iniziare? Tanto
No, ha detto di iniziare.
I forgot to mention before that the work was supervised by Dr. Admane and Dr. Sanzani and also Dr. Babahani before, we didn't mention that. Now it's the turn of Afsa El Horri. She will talk about developing group certification in Morocco, and she's supervised by Dr. Pugliese, Dr. Teich, and Dr. Rota.
Thank you, Professor. Dear professors, fellow students, good afternoon or good morning. Today I will be presenting my first seminar of the thesis entitled Developing Group Certification in Morocco, Case Study Approach. The outline of my presentation will be as follows. First, I will go through the context and background, research objectives, literature review, research design, and the activities timetable. First, let's start with the definition of group certification. Group certification is a system in which a group of farmers implement an internal control system, and the certification body or the third-party certification tries to certify them, which assess the performance of these ICS and perform some representative number of inspections. It is a global and timely concept worldwide. The proof is that 4.5 million hectares of organic area is under ICS. Moreover, 6,000 ICS certified groups are already implemented in the whole world, Latin America, Africa, and Asia. It is not a new concept because the basic concept was introduced in 1980s by an organic farming association which tried to certify coffee and cocoa producers in Africa. Now on, we are talking about group certification in different kind of standards, voluntary standards and also organic standards. For instance, Fair Trade and Certified Alliance Certified Alliance, they are already introducing group certification in their standards. Moreover, IFOAM Organics have tried to make a great evolution and progress in terms of legislation, but also USBA has introduced it and EU regulations also. Mainly, the group certification is introduced in different standards in order to reduce first the high individual certification cost that some farmers cannot prove, and the administrative burden that relates to this individual certification. Speaking about EU regulations, now the certification bodies should follow the 2008 guidelines. These guidelines are now going to be changed because the Article 36, which is in the Organic Regulations of 848, is going to be implemented in 2021. But the main debate that sparks is about the usage of these guidelines for developing countries, but in 2021 it will be used for member states of the EU and also for third countries. Moreover, it will not be possible for farmers who are affiliated to an exporter to be part of the group, because the farmer should by himself be processing or preparing the marketing. Larger farmers will not be possible to be also in the group because the size of the farms are now settled. Moreover, the established form of the written agreements is not enough, but they have to have a legal personality to be part of the group. The geographical proximity and the joint marketing are always discussed, and also the ICS or the internal control system performance is the core of this topic. These are the basic acts that are involved in the Article 36. But there will be also published new delegated acts, which are about the responsibilities of individual group members, criteria to determine the geographical proximity, and the functioning of system of internal control. The implemented acts are also going to be about composition and dimension of the group operators, documents and records keeping, and the information exchange. Organic agriculture in Morocco is present. The feature about that is that 10,000 hectares of cultivated area is already certified. More than 300 farmers are certified in Morocco, and Morocco is export-oriented. So 20,000 tons of organic produce is exported to the EU. Moreover, at the moment we have a national organic logo, which is Bio Maghreb or Bio Maroc. It is a logo that certifies that the farmers are complied with the law 3912. This law do not, unfortunately, have anything about organic certification, about group certification, or there is no organic groups already certified in Morocco. But there exist two certification bodies which are international, CCPB and EcoCert. This institution, the interest about group certification in Morocco is there because the institutional organizations think proves that group certification is an alternative for small-scale farmers in Morocco to have access to markets, in organic market, but also to be able to have possibility to be certified, since the individual certification is very costly. This is why we are interested in an ongoing debate about international EU regulations, because we, as a Moroccan, we part of the third countries, we need to be in compliance with these regulations. The group certification recent developments and our interest in Morocco helped us to define the research objectives. So this context is not only about the regulations, but also there is two objectives that are related to that. First of all, we would like to analyze the target case studies and the stage of development in relation to the requirements of the EU regulations. This is why we would like to understand how far are these case studies able to be in compliance with the EU regulations that are known in the Article 36. But each farmer has his own attitudes and motivations that makes them part of the group. This is why comes the second objective. We would like to understand what are the factors that affect these farmers to be part of the group and to work inside the ICS, or the internal control system. Defining our research objectives were not only related to the context and analysis that we did, but also to the review of academic literature. First, we went through a systematic review, which is of two steps. The first one is that we tried to make a sampling of different papers by deploying some three main terms, which are group certification, organic agriculture, and participatory guarantee system. The result of that is 294 papers. These references were not all read or full text read, because 261 were actually not relevant to our topic. Later on, we went through the assessment of the abstract of 34 papers, and then we assessed the text or fully read the text of 21. Later on, we made another step, which is to evaluate the content analysis of these papers, because at the end we would like to define what are the factors that already are assessed in these papers. So 6 papers were actually very relevant to our topic, but 15 of them will be used only for discussion and for literature review at the end of the thesis. Mainly, the factors that we identified were selected or extracted while using the content analysis. First, if we find some terms which are present in several papers, we made a content analysis based by similarity. So we can use a common term between all these papers. Later on, we made a relevance analysis because we would like to have a concise questionnaire of the specific factors that will be related to our case studies. At the end, we have this output, which are these factors. The factors are several ones, but in order to consolidate them, we made 5 categories. The first one is farm's characteristics, group characteristics, farm's capacity and motivation, context-related factors, and participatory guarantee system. The colors represent the 6 papers that we made and we select at the end of our systematic review, and the cross they represent the factors that are inside the real table. The cross that they can represent either the absence or the presence of these factors in the concerned papers. So this is an insight of how the the real table is. The table is containing different factors for each paper that we select, and they do match each category that we already selected. Now for our case studies, the title is Case Study Approach. So our case studies, we made first a preliminary contact with Ministry of Morocco and some key actors. And these are our main case studies, one in Rabat and one in Meknes. Olia Biomeknes is collecting 62 farmers which are producing olive oil, and the system is an aggregation. So we have Olia Food, which is a processor, and aggregator farmers. The participatory guarantee system, which is the first created participatory guarantee system in Morocco, it is a quality assurance system which connects between farmers and consumers in order to have a social network and to empower each other to have, at the end, a certification for their produce. They are 15 farmers at the moment, and they are empowered by or supported by Riyam and Siraj. Now for our tools. Basically, each objective has its own tools. So first, for the first objective, we prepared in a checklist base of the Article 36 and the different secondary legislation that will be that are published, and we are going to go through a structured interview based on this checklist. So the source of information will be basically the control bodies, the supporting institutions, and the group representatives. This is the checklist that we will go through. Basically, it's the Article 36 categorized upon each act, and also we made this is the screenshot of the main checklist that we will be using, but also with the amended regulations, because we are following the debate. Since there are some 2021, they will be published or they will be effectively using the Article 36, so we need to know every time if there is any new regulations that will be added to be in our checklist. For the second objective, which is to investigate the factors, we have based our questionnaires on the factors that I already explained in the systematic review. So, of course, we will be using the questionnaire for the both case studies, but by introducing it to farmers and the co-founders of our case studies. The questionnaire is basically a qualitative part, because we will the main content of the table is the questions based on these factors, the categories as already explained, and related to a Likert scale questions. Why we're using open-ended questions at the end is that we want to understand exactly what are the assessment and examination of the different factors that we are assessing, and to have a better interpretation of the results. Basically, since we are going to collect the data, it is really important to mention that our case studies are very independent, and we are going to use it as a separate unit of analysis, but we would like also to use both tools in order to collect data about both case studies, and at the end make a cross-case analysis in order to have at the end some conclusions that we will be assessing for the assessment of the application of our research findings in the organics in general in Morocco. This case study is adapted method of the Yen in 1989. The different steps that I already explained in my research design are actually here. 9 of them are actually scheduled in open the period of my thesis. Some steps are already done. Future ones are used since we have already our tools, so we just need to collect data, and then we will go through the analysis and the assessment of our research. This is my presentation. Thank you so much for your attention.
Very nice presentation, Hafsa. Very enjoyable and very clear. I think it's been very, very well done. One thing which I think is very interesting, it's the part related to the real field work. Huh? And do you think this is consistent with the timing that you have selected?
For the 2 case studies? Since the tools are ready.
Yeah, but I mean the real work in the field, you know, like
yes. The surveys?
The survey, the interviews.
Yes, the case studies, they are not, the farmers are not so much in each case.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 and 62, we can mainly do the questionnaires for the case studies.
You don't think this is an issue, no? You don't think it's a problem, I mean, in terms of the timing?
Of course.
With respect to the
yeah, but
plan.
optimistically speaking, of course it's visible.
Very interesting.
Hafsa, congratulations, good work. Some suggestions. First, for the readability and the visibility. Both colors and font are not really allowing to follow easily, small character, and also colors. I had difficulty in seeing it, and I checked from over there, it's not readable at all. So try to work on that. I know that even the conditions here are not of the best, but this is why we invite you to make a test before the exam.
Hamza, did you test it?
Sullo schermo direi.
Yes, yes, I did. I did everything.
Sullo schermo.
Però loro vengono qui a fare i test.
Yes, yes, I did.
The other issue regarding the number of the slides,
Yes.
put the total number.
Yes, yes.
Okay, otherwise it doesn't mean anything, already said by Professor Miano. The other
Like
thing,
2 slash the total.
the number, yeah.
3 slash the total.
Exactly.
And the other one, please be consistent when you report the EU regulation number. Sometimes you report 834/2018, and sometimes you report 2019/834. So be always consistent on that. It's interesting to know. I used to remember that. Regulations were named EC regulations. Is it now EU regulation?
There are EC guidelines. EC guidelines.
Okay, EC guidelines and EC regulations
Nice
or
voice.
EU regulations?
Louder,
EU
louder.
yes, EU legislation.
EU regulation.
Regulation.
Regulation and the number?
Is
EU regulation?
848/2018.
Okay, be consistent in that.
Okay, congratulations. It was very clear. I think that also the methodological part was very rigorous and appreciated very much, especially the systematic literature review. How do you explain the selection of papers and also the flow of the narrative and coming from the premises to the methodology. So very good, and I look forward to see the results. This, for me, it's just a curiosity. I would like to see a little bit more about the theoretical background about it. What is your hypothesis? Because you look at the determinants of these participation schemes, but we don't see what you expect. What is these are results that you are going to expect from it? So it will be very interesting to see if in the literature you see that, for example, certain determinants are giving some results or other determinants are giving different results, and so to see what is better and what is worse. But I suppose that you have already in mind, and then you will explain us the next workshop.
Sure.
Antonio, c'è domanda?
Okay, no, very good presentation, self-confident, good, solid.
Thank you very much again.
Thank
So we reconvene at 2:30, 2:45, 2:45.